It's 6 p.m. on a Saturday evening, and preparations have already begun for tonight's races, not only on the track, but the drivers working on their cars. The drivers look to bring home the checkered flag. Through the years, though, there have been many drivers try to take home the win. The history of the Devil's Bowl Speedway dates all the way back to 1949. Before moving to its current location, the original Speedway was located in Dallas at South Buckner Boulevard. It was in 1968 when the track moved to its current location in Mesquite, Texas at Lawson Road. The current owners, Lanny and Beverly Edwards, started running the track in 1972, and since then, the Devil's Bowl has become one of the most famous dirt tracks in the country. On a typical Saturday night, you will see 4 different classes of cars compete. Those classes include the factory stocks, the limited modifieds, USRA modifieds, and the most popular, the USA Sprint cars. Though car cost varies, racing is not a cheap sport.
And even though I want to be a race car driver, but I ain't got the bankroll because these cars ain't cheap. A lot of people think they are, but these cars are very expensive, takes a lot of money. I enjoy announcing just because I grew up at the racetrack, so I like watching the cars go in the corner, and I feel like that love I have for the sport kind of propels me to be able to toss it on to others in our promotions with other people, trying to bring that passion to them, that understanding of what it actually is on the track.
Though compared to NASCAR, dirt track racing brings something to the table that's a little bit different than the asphalt sport.
Have you ever heard of NASCAR? They'd probably say yes. I'd tell you, well, you ever been to a NASCAR race or seen it? They're like, yeah, and about after 10 minutes, did you fall asleep? And he said, yeah, I could have walked away from it. Well, I would agree with you. This is anything but NASCAR. This is action-packed. This is excitement. We don't need a pit stop in Danica Patrick to put on a show. We put a show on the Speedway, and that's what dirt track racing, not only at the Devil's Bowl Speedway, but across America, Canada, and Australia, puts on some of the greatest shows on dirt. We are going in circles, but it's a whole nother game compared to NASCAR, which is what we get compared to all the time.
After conquering the USA Modified Points Championship last year, racer Max Eddie Thomas looks for new goals to accomplish this year.
We ain't gonna run every week this year. Just gonna hit shows here and there, get a few more money races this year. They cut the late models out here, and I still got a late model, so we're gonna go run late model elsewhere also.
Some drivers don't mind letting people know that they're the best on the track.
Oh yeah, they better watch out. I'm gonna kick their butt tonight, get in victory lane. I guess my front bumper ain't wore out, but my rear bumper is. I don't know, they're just trying to get me. Them hound dogs are just slow, you just can't catch me.
Behind some drivers are their significant other willing to give them a helping hand. Just ask Brittany Odom, the girlfriend of racer Raven Culp.
As you see, I have his helmet here. I'm about to have to clean that off, put some tear-offs on, so if the mud's too heavy out there, he has enough. Whatever he tells me to do that needs done after that, I just do. I just go with the flow. I listen to my orders and I do them. That's basically what you gotta do.
She explains how scary it can be seeing her boyfriend in a bad crash.
Nerve-wracking. You just kind of got to hope for the best, and when you go out there, just don't freak out too bad because that's going to make it worse. So you just got to wait until you see what you have in front of you and then see what you got to do from there.
While dirt track racing has its fans, the sport itself has many obstacles that it has to overcome to be brought into the mainstream media. Even some of NASCAR's biggest stars started out in dirt track racing.
The greatest drivers, some of the greatest drivers in NASCAR come from dirt track racing. And some of them go back. Tony Stewart, Kenny Wallace, Jeff Gordon's been interested in coming back, but NASCAR, the money is what runs that world. Casey Kane, all the guys that love dirt racing, they're not coming back for the money. They're coming back for the racing that is in the game. And the only way that would ever be successful over NASCAR is the exposure, getting the general population out to the show that we put on so more and more people can like it and hopefully get us on TV like NASCAR is. That's the advantage that they have over almost every other form of racing in America.
Winning a race at the Devil's Bowl Speedway is an accomplishment that only so many people can say that they've achieved.
Come out here to this magnificent facility here in the big track. You know, go from a small track to a big track and win on both on the same weekend is just awesome.
For more information on the Speedway, you can log on to devilsbowl.com, like their Facebook page, or follow them on Twitter at DB Speedway. For
Tonight in the
NTTV
USA Sprint
News,
Cars
I'm
Formula
Tanner
95,
Long.
Jeff the Rocket Man Dave.